Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is the Alien. Welcome back to the channel. We are today going to be talking about Marathon. If it's your first time here, welcome. This may or may not be the first upload on the channel that is an actual video instead of a short. If you are seeing this, thank you. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy your stay. And hopefully this content either has some sort of physical appreciation or mental appreciation or something that just scratches the itch for you where it needs to, whether it be for Marathon, video gaming, whatever it can. However I can help, glad to be here. So let's get started today with what we are talking about, and I'm gonna try and just spitball this here and go off of just exactly how I'm feeling. I'm not going to do any kind of scripting or anything. This is just going to be me, raw, going from off the cuff on exactly how I feel about the game currently, about issues, things that are bothering me, things that are bothering the community, and just overall things that I feel like Marathon could be doing better, just because I genuinely do think that this is one of the greatest games that we've gotten in a very long time. I know that it's been pretty difficult, a little bit of a tumultuous road here with how things have started for Marathon. I know Bungie has not exactly done the greatest job in terms of how things have panned out for delivery on this game, but I do think that there is still a lot of meat left on the bone for Marathon, and I kind of wanted to dive into that today and talk just a little bit with you guys about everything that I feel like could be improved and things that are already great on the game, and also just some things that I feel like need to just be talked about in general. So let's get started today. I think number one, the biggest thing on the list that I would like to talk about is the overall quote-unquote loot economy. Marathon has created a little bit of its own issue, and I'm not sure whether or not that is the audience itself, if it's Bungie itself, or if it is a little bit of a mix of both, but it is one of the most redundant and toxic situations I think that I've seen in any kind of extraction shooter, looter shooter, battle royale, you name it. And if you're curious as to what I'm talking about, it's the issue in Marathon currently. It's a little bit of a battle between the developers and the overall Marathon current population, having an issue between what loot should be in the game currently, what loot is too good of loot currently. And if you're curious on what I mean by that, during Season 2's rollout, it started with a free week, and that free week was open play for everybody, but it also included a new PvE mode that they were rolling out as kind of a trial. They were calling it PvE Lite, and this mode was essentially the mode that they are coming out with this mid-season update, calling it Vault Breaker. But this was essentially a little bit different, where they gave you the option to fill in on this with only rooks being the the outlier here. Rooks would be the only thing that would fill in. It was you, your squad, and that was it, with the possibility of rooks. That being said, this situation turned into something a little bit interesting and has boiled over into the general loot economy for this season of Marathon. And loot economy as a whole, that word, that phrase, just bothers me, because we're talking about a video game here. And this is a game that could be the cutting edge of video games currently. But because of these little hang-ups, this is why it's not. And that's just, again, this is just going into one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, because these are one of the many issues that I feel like could be easily solved and yet turn into a giant snowball blunder. This is one of the stupidest things I think I've ever heard of. Everybody freaks out about it. Oh, there's too... You can't give all the sweaty people gold guns. You can't... Oh, there's too much... this guy's got nothing but golds and purples. This guy, blah, blah, blah. He's level 200 already. He's leveled up his cradle too much. BS. Straight BS. I don't understand that at all. I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It is a video game. We are all trying to get the best loot in this video game. Why in the hell does everyone, included, want to just nerf that loot pool into the point of where there's nothing fun to get from that loot pool? I'm sorry, but if I play this game for 6 months and the best guns I get from it is 1 purple gun and 3,000 common guns, that's not going to be very fun. That to me is not very interesting. I don't know who wants to play this game and just cycle through dirt 24/7. This is not Minecraft. If you want to go and play with dirt for 24 hours straight, go play Minecraft. It's a great game for that. Marathon, there's gold guns for a reason. And I feel like this Season 2 did give people a little too much access to that loot, but I feel like that's something that could have easily been negated. And this was something that turned into a giant, like I said a second ago, blunder. The development team immediately, once they caught wind that there was, this loot influx that everybody was having, they shut it down. And when they shut it down, I mean they shut it down hard. They essentially nerfed that new mode that they had added, that PvE mode, into the ground within the first week. And when I mean into the ground, I mean they removed so much loot that you could get from this mode that it essentially made that mode pointless. And that immediately, for me and for a large audience of people that were just getting their hands on Marathon, really killed momentum. I mean, it made it to a point of where it just made it boring. And I don't understand where that disconnect came from. I think, yes, I do agree that it was a lot of loot. It was a lot of purples. It was a lot of gold. I agree. But nerfing it and removing it just immediately created this sense of, oh, well, if I didn't live online like a YouTuber or a streamer or someone that was jobless, someone that was chronically online playing this game 24/7, I am going to end up with nothing. And now, I may have quite a few hours into Marathon, but I'm not a sweat. I've never even touched ranked before. I would very much consider myself a casual player in terms of Marathon. I do not play anything on this game competitively at all. I more or less, I'm the guy that will go in and instinctively get killed, knowing damn good and well that I shouldn't be friendly, and will still go in and try and be friendly with people just to interact, just to simply see what's going on, see who will be cool with me, and see if I can't make a couple friends along the way. So that's where my behavioral traits come in for Marathon, according to who I am and how I'm going to play the game. Now, if I'm coming in and, I need to get some Arachne contracts done, and I need to get some runners, I'm going to get some runners. I have no problem with it admitting that, if I need to go in and get some elims, I'll go in and get some elims. But I'm not the person to be stressed on what the next guy has or what the next guy is doing in this game, because I'm just going in to try and have as good of a time as I can. And that goes back to what I was talking about with the whole loot economy situation. This is something that is an issue that never needed to be an issue. Them turning this loot into what it turned into was essentially them creating their own problem. There didn't need to be any nerfing of any loot for the upper complex job, and there definitely didn't need to be any nerfing for the cert crates that were in on the map. Now, hold your horses, because I know everybody wants to try and get uptight about this one, especially the purists that want to try and believe that, you know, everybody should have to fight for 6 years just to get a purple gun. I see where you're coming from, and I understand it. I don't think anybody should be handed anything in Marathon. I think you should obviously have to work for what you're getting. I think you should have to fight. I think you should have to struggle, quote unquote, a little bit to get the stuff that's actually worth it the most. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that I think that you should have to go up against the entire lobby of runners, or not even the entire lobby, the sweatiest of the sweaty people in this game. I don't think you should have to do that. I feel like a good medium between where we are right now would be if this whole new Vault Breaker mode that they came out with had essentially the PvE Lite functions that the PvE Lite mode had when it came out, but with actual loot. I mean, you could make it to where you exfil with at least common weapons, at least blue weapons, you know, something that has a little bit of meaning to it. You know, I might not be able to leave with a gold Mizzy, but if I can leave with a Mizzy at all, I feel like that would be sick. I feel like that would be something that would be greatly appreciated, and the overwhelming majority of players that get lost in this game because of the, you know, the skill gap, or because of the loot economy not making sense or being too difficult, I feel like that's a great ceiling for them to be able to break through. And development-wise, Bungie just looks at that like people are trying to take... They're giving us an inch and we're trying to take a mile. And that just doesn't make any sense to me. You've made this extraction shooter with this loot in this game. Give us the option to get this loot one way or the other. The Vault Breaker mode, in my opinion, just seems to be one of the stupider things that Marathon has seen yet throughout its life cycle. That, to me, seems like one of the biggest just failures of an idea. I mean, you're so close. We're so close. You're right on the money. You're following the track exactly where you want it to be, and you're just jumping off the rails just to see what's on the other side. I just don't understand it at all. Vault Breaker is a great idea. You know, let's take Cryo, which is a great mode. It's super complicated. I've never even I've exfilled once from Cryo, and I've got some clips that I can show you guys that were pretty crazy. We had the entire lobby with us except for one team. So quite a few bodies packed into quite a few little areas on Cryo, which was a lot of fun. It was great. It was a good time. But again, that's a great idea. Let's make it to where you get the Vault Breaker mode, and instead of this currency that is the only thing that you're allowed to exfil with, let's make it to where you have basic loot that you can exfil with, so that everybody, whether you're a newbie, whether you're a casual, whether you're whatever, you know, you can build your loadouts if you want to, or you can just feed it to the cradle if you want to, or you can just, you know, go chase Profiteer if you want to, you know, get that milli, get them credits up. You know, there's a lot of options on what the variability could be for this Vault Breaker mode, and Bungie came in and they were just like, actually, nah, let's just get rid of all of that. We made an extraction shooter, we made a looter shooter, but let's just get rid of all of that, and let's just give you guys a mode where the only thing you can extract with is this stupid Vault currency. I just don't get it. And the Vault currency that they're coming out with is going to give you the ability to upgrade the kit, the free kit, quote unquote, that you're going to go in with into this Vault Breaker mode. Whoop-de freaking do. Nobody cares, man. Genuinely speaking, from the bottom of my heart, as someone who plays this game every single day, nobody cares. I hate rocking free kits, even if I have nothing else to use. I want to get to a point in this game. The whole fun of Marathon is the exact reason of the gear fear. You know, you don't, every season there comes a wipe, and with that wipe, everybody gets reset. So the best and the coolest thing about Marathon, the thing that made Marathon stand out to me differently than, you know, Arc Raiders or any of the other extraction shooters, is it's the feeling of fuck it. You go in and it is what it is. You know, you're gonna lose this gear one way or another, so you might as well use it. And I think that's beautiful. I genuinely think that mantra is something that should be done in games more often, because it's a video game. It's a video game. You should feel more at the point of, well, screw it. And I think that's so cool. I think as a dynamic that could work for Marathon forever. I think that could turn Marathon into a Fortnite level of big game. And I'm not saying that it actually could or will ever be that big. What I mean by that is, if they actually followed the right path with this idea, this dynamic, this platform that they've created is brilliant. And not saying it like Bungie's the creator of an extraction shooter or anything like that. They're obviously not the first, and I'm sure they probably won't be the last. It's not about that at all. What it's about is, when you have lightning in a bottle, like they currently do with this game, or did with this game. It may already be over at this point. Who knows? We'll see. Time will tell. You could do something that could make this game so absolutely beautiful with just little things. I mean, little quality of life updates, you know, little loot drops here and there that, you know, the economy gets to get, you know, new items in rotation once a week or once a month or whatever. You know, this new season came out and they got rid of all of the good backgrounds from last season. You know, like what happened to, you know, all of the good stuff that we all like to get? What happened to, you know, getting an item and being able to rack up the points on it? What happened to, you know, like stack overflow? What happened to, you know, all of the cool things from season 1? All of that just got pulled out completely, and this new stuff got put in, and you just don't get any option on that at all. It's a very hard pause on, yep, this is what the loot economy is for this season. If you don't like it, have a nice day. And that, I feel like, moving forward, is going to be a very big crutch for Marathon. They need to realize that giving people what they want is really not that hard of a task for this game. There's quite a bit of good to this game. This game is a beautiful game. It plays great. The mechanics are super smooth. You could deliver an absolute home run with this game if you just worked on the little things for everybody. You don't just want to create a core audience. You already have a core audience. The core people that play this game, myself included, are absolutely obsessed with this game. It's like a freaking drug. It's like being at a casino gambling. This game is amazing. This game is fantastic. But Bungie, the second that they hear that from one person, it's just like they sit back in their chair and just act like the job's done. Everything's already over with. And that would be great if the job was already done and everything was already over with. But there's lots of things that need to get fixed, and rather than fixing those things, they focus on the things that don't need to be fixed at all. They hear one person complain about something, and they jump on that. Whereas 10,000 people will complain about one thing, and they just act like you guys don't exist at all. And it's the strangest thing I think I've ever seen. I mean, you know, they pulled the card that they pulled with Destiny, which just was the stupidest thing that you could have done. And I think rightfully said to anybody who's a gamer at all, if you look at this situation objectively, you can look at it and say, wow, yeah, that was pretty damn dumb. I mean, you know, killing a live service game that's as big as Destiny and doing what you did is just the way to alienate your entire market. And then to think that you can kill a game like that and then just immediately funnel everybody directly over into this new game, which has essentially no merit and no background, other than, you know, what's been known for the last basically 30 years on the game. But we're talking, you know, it's basically like if we revived the Atari tomorrow and made the Atari the most popular console on the planet Earth tomorrow. That's just not gonna happen. I mean, the amount of stuff that exists in a world like today, you're just not gonna do that unless you know, no pun intended here, reinvented the wheel. And Bungie tried to do that, I feel, with Marathon, but they kind of got the rug pulled out from underneath them when games like Ark and other things like that came along before they were able to deliver Marathon. And I feel like ever since then, they've just been kind of punching up for no reason. And that doesn't really make sense to me, because Marathon still truly is a game in its own lane. They just need to focus on the things that are most important with that. You know, the loot economy is, honestly, in my opinion, like I've been saying from the start of this, it's one of the slower and smaller issues on the scale of things that need to be focused on immediately. But that's, you know, that's just my personal opinion. That's basically just one of the littler rants that I have on everything going on with Marathon currently. Let's circle back on this. If you guys enjoy this at all, you know, please feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you think about Marathon currently. If, you know, if you're never going to try it again, if you think things need to be different. Let me know what questions you might have about Marathon. I play every single day. Whenever I have free time, whenever I'm not doing my regular job, I, you know, will spend my free time playing this game. So I do enjoy it a lot. I do have a lot personally invested into this game. And I just want to see it grow. I want to see it be successful. And I want to get the people that care about this game talking about this game a little bit more, and people that have never seen it before maybe a little bit interested. So, if this video, you know, gets any kind of attention or gets anywhere at all, thank you. I appreciate it. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you can, subscribe. I appreciate it greatly. This is a brand new experience for me all the way around, so doing this is super cool, and I appreciate this so very much. It feels very, very weird. It's a very parasocial thing to actually be the person that watches YouTube all the time that's now actually trying to do the YouTube. So let me know your thoughts on everything. Let me know if I legitimately just yapped way too much this entire time. Give me feedback on everything all the way around. Things I can do better, things that you want to see on the channel, things that I should talk about with Marathon, or things that I should just talk about in general. If you guys just want to hear me yap about basic stuff, just let me know. I am happy to do that. This has been The Alien. I appreciate you all for staying here, and talk to you soon. See ya.